friends, for months and months we've waited, and you've held on in suspense, waiting for the mystical tutors to return, and we're back after a long hiatus due to Christmas holidays and other such events that took place in our lives. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have a perfect opening for today's episode.
A perfect opening.
Yeah. Guys, welcome to Master Duel Tutors, sponsored by Konami. We are the Master Duels podcast, where we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Accessories.
I am literally closing my webcam on a recording right now. Goodbye. Okay, anyways, welcome back, everyone. How you both been? I talk to you on a regular basis, but nonetheless, how you doing? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
It is
Saturday.
definitely Saturday, or else I've missed work.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, congratulations on your free day off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, how is it?
It's definitely been it's been good. Things have been good, right? I think we haven't played as much EDH as I wanted to, but like
I've got plenty in. I played.
Yeah,
Wednesday,
I feel like
I played Friday.
I feel like I have. I mean, like we played a bunch last night, but besides that, like I haven't played in like weeks. I think.
I was gonna say, I think it has been literal weeks, but like you've been getting back into it the last 2 days. I mean, we've got something scheduled on Sunday, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
And then like in a couple weeks, and Alpaca and I have got something. Either we got something going on Wednesday for us, and then next Wednesday probably and stuff. Like we got stuff going on.
Yeah. I think things are gonna be super exciting. Hello, Kat.
Super cool.
She heard me talking, and
I'm just excited for Kamigawa now.
Yes.
Yeah, Kamigawa looks really sick.
The set I thought I was not going to buy.
Yes, yeah, I like this. I think I want to hear Alpaca's story, because like he slides into my DMs like a penguin slips on ice, and he shows me a picture. I want to hear the story for this again.
So, going into the season before spoilers started, I was pretty sure Kamigawa was just going to be a set I was going to skip, in hopes of paying for further sets. I sent Astrals here a screen cap of my pre-order, which is a pre-release pack and 2 set boosters.
Yeah.
Not just set booster box.
Yep. I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Alpaca, sir, what caught your eye in this set? What made you like super excited about it?
I don't even know how to explain. It's just everything in general. There's so much, even in what will end up being junk rares, that I want to just to mess around with in EDH.
I know this sounds weird on Kamigawa. I'm not really excited for any individual cards, but I might be like nose blind to it because of like, to be fair, I wasn't excited for anything in Strixhaven either. And Strix was a really good set. I think it's just because, my internal hype meter is a little bit burnt out. But like, we'll push through it, and then I'll play through it. And as soon as I get my hands on the cards, then I'll be very much like, oh, okay, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
I think like everything about that set, I kind of was in a similar boat. I was kind of like, the set looks cool, not sure if I'll buy it. I'm really kind of contemplating buying it, but it's what's really intriguing me is this looks like an impactful set. And I don't mean broken like Eldraine, but cards do things that have impacts effectively in what we can see in all formats in a good fashion. Nothing, I mean, aside from like a couple, I'll say, because, Boseiju is a thing. Aside from a couple cards, everything else just looks like this is functionally playable in a different way. There's interaction. It's effective. It doesn't restrict. Like this, and the aesthetic, the designs. Like, if I had to rate this set like right now, I honestly would probably say 10 out of 10.
Aside from the needless amount of alternate art, like alternate border art, it is a beautiful set.
I agree.
I'll make a hot take here. Certain channel cards like Boseiju, are either going to be played exclusively with Thalia or exclusively against Thalia.
I think that's a fair take. I would absolutely agree that's a fair take.
Like, Thalia now is probably not going to be... That's why they printed Thalia, I think. Because Channel exists in the format.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh no. If you run Thalia in a Selesnya deck with Boseiju, oh no.
Yeah?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm excited for... We get rotation, right? I'm not crazy?
not yet.
Do we not
September.
get rotation yet?
Are you looking at your older formats where you have your Jund deck there, Sean?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Boseiju plays very nice with your Ren 6.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, true.
It does.
Right, because it adds it back to hand.
It does, yeah. I need to consider a few copies for Jund.
Boseiju is nuts. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
That's the name of our podcast now. We're Boseiju stands now.
Well, like, think about it, right? Like, you have Thalia out, you have Boseiju, costs 1 in green to essentially, like, Shatterstorm something. Or, like, not Shatterstorm, but, you know.
Yeah. No,
Same difference.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
You know, I wonder... Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, I wonder if we're going to see an unbanning on the mainland in Standard because Boseiju exists.
No.
I think they've banned that and they've locked that in place.
Yeah, true.
Faithless
We don't see
unbans.
unbans.
No, we hardly ever see unbans. Speaking of a format where we don't see unbans very often, Commander, the format we all love and play, and in talking of a new set and talking of things that come in, we kind of get into the idea of the fundamental change that Commander goes through. Commander is an adaptive format that always never much bans and sort of adds to its card pool over and over again, and as it adds things, this concept we've all kind of heard crops up. Casual Commander. If I asked you both what casual Commander is, what would you answer?
What a lot of people we went to college with played.
Okay.
I would say Ashling the Pilgrim with 99 Mountains.
Also fair. Okay, so 2 very different descriptions of what a casual deck would be. Because, like, for lack of a better word, the term casual is about as broad as a label you can throw on a deck type as a power level 7. Right?
Yep.
Like, what's it mean? What's it have? And I'm going to say this forward because it is kind of the question of the title. Personally speaking, I don't think casual Commander exists. I really don't.
Well, I think it's defined by your play group, right? So, like, let's say we're throwing down with decks that we usually throw down, but, like, if our play group... So, like, I think as someone that has tried to build a casual deck and brought it to a casual table in our group, in, like, the Draw for Turn server, and getting my butt handed to me by quote-unquote casual decks, I agree. I think that casual is just a mindset of the play group that you're playing with, right? Like, there's no rules, there's no written rules of casual Commander, you know? Like, you can't just say, like, for instance, right? You could play casual C, you know? Like, what's stopping you from playing casual CDH? You know? Like, saying, okay, I'm playing something that is immensely a combo deck and, you know, doing all this stuff, but I'm not playing Thassa's Oracle. I mean, I'd not to make all of our Gruul fans, our Gruul stands out there, you know, Rurik, like, you could say, like, I'm playing Rurik Thar, but I'm not doing Snoop combo, or, like, you know, I'm not doing Snoop stuff, and you could consider that casual CDH, right? Like, casual is just what your group defines as not being the best, or not being or not playing your A game. That's all.
I personally feel casual used to exist, but as Commander's moved into its own thing, it's every deck has a notable win condition now. If you don't, the game just takes too long and it's no longer fun because a lot of it's played online. In person,
Right.
longer games are interesting because you still have that connection.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with that. I mean, playing with your like in person with friends, You've got food, drinks, hanging out, a good time. You could stay up till 3 in the morning playing. Playing online is a little different. Webcam and computer fatigue are a very big factor. But I'd absolutely agree with both points. I do think there was a time that the term casual commander applied, but it's since changed and evolved and adapted. And I think that's in relation to the card pool. That's why I've been saying for a while now, I guess, too. And I mean, you both have heard my little tirade on it. I don't think it exists at all. And I think it's less that it exists in the form of a label of a type of format, as it's kind of pushed in some ways, but it exists as a mindset or how you construct your deck. Because I'll say, you can totally build a casual deck, something you think is in that small playlist. You can rule zero and talk for a casual game, but I don't think you can ever go out and say, you'll go to a random LGS and you'll go to a group of people and say, I'm bringing a casual deck to play. Because right off the bat, that doesn't say anything. I think if you want to look for that casual, you have to approach the perspective of the Rule Zero discussion and what you're bringing in. You can't just call your game casual, because then you're going to run into, oh, my deck's a casual, but suddenly, someone's going to bust out the awkward turn 4 combo that to them is casual, right?
Well, yeah, like think about something that, if you have a combo piece that's highly interactable, right? So like something that could be, let's say Zealous Conscripts Kiki Jiki, right? That's an interactable combo. You just gotta kill the Kiki Jiki before the Zealous Conscripts resolves, right? Or just kill Kiki Jiki almost anywhere in the chain. People don't consider that a casual combo, but in formats where, or in pods where removal is higher, that could be considered a casual combo. Like, it's just it's just one of those things that, like, saying your deck is a casual deck or you're playing casual commander is like saying you're a doctor. It doesn't mean anything unless you give more context, right? Like, I could be a doctor and I could be, I could have my doctorate in philosophies, right? But I'm not going to save a person on an airplane that's choking.
Yep.
Like, I don't mean to be harsh about it, but I mean, not to say that the person couldn't, right? But you're not going to rely on that type of doctor.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, actions and speak louder than perception of a single word, right? Like, I mean, and I'll flip the coin to talk about competitive briefly on this too, because it's the same. When people say competitive, what's competitive mean? That one I think is more defined than casual, albeit in that sense. But when someone goes to just say, "Hey, I'm in for a competitive game," it kind of has the same connotation as well. But you see more of a divide on the casual side, because there is sort of an agreed upon set or what can define a competitive style. And when you engage in competitive play, you actively talk. You have that Rule Zero talk that I am looking for this competitive game. This is what my deck does. You have that talk. In casual, you don't. And there are play groups I know that they're exception where they do have the talk and it doesn't engage. But there are a lot of times when you just say, I'm looking for a casual commander, no talks happen. And then it's oopsie, that's it. And it leads to a frustrating time.
I honestly think that casual was a big thing back before 4-man pods were the norm. When we sat down in college and sat with 8 to 12 people around that table,
I remember those days.
any deck at that table could win that game suddenly. Infinite combos weren't nearly as common when it all first started, which led more into it being casual. There wasn't just a moment in a game where you go, I win. You had to build, you had to protect, and you usually had to kill one player at a time.
Yep. And you had to ask people politely if you killed this person not to kill them. And then, you were playing like a 6-person game and you didn't understand a rules interaction between something like Spellskite and equipment. That's how casual was supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Scariest thing at the table was a vampire Nighthawk, because if you attacked the guy, he'd block it, gain some life, and kill your dude. you know?
I mean, even like a Hypnotic Spectre would have been a big bad, right? Because that was a targeted discard that has a flyer, and if you weren't playing flyers, like you were taking 2 points and losing a pretty good resource potentially.
So back there's a good quote to talk about Commander, right? So Commander, I think Commander is no longer a casual format. I know that sounds really weird to say, but like Commander was supposed to be the thing that you'd show up at a table, you'd hang out, no one really cared when anybody else was playing because you were there to just hang out and have a good time.
Yes.
But given the chance to, players will optimize the fun out of anything. That's just how it is. It happens in all sorts of gaming. No matter what. You have power gamers in D&D, right? You have people that, there's a reason why people play meta decks, you know? Like there's a reason why primers exist for lists in EDH, right? While EDH has way more possibilities, so you could do all this other stuff and you can get an identity with stuff. It doesn't mean that if you don't look hard enough, people have the perfect list for your deck out there. You know, you're just not gonna have as much fun as you used to back in the days when this format was new. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I actually like Commander more now than I liked it back then because I like playing Commander like it's legacy. I like having win cons. I like playing specific formats when given the card pool. Um, or certain archetypes when given the card pool. But at the end of the day, like the casualness is just going to be dictated by your table. You have to have the rule zero discussion. You gotta just be able to say, hey, look, we're doing this. And people try to do it with like point systems and everything at LGSs. That's not going to work. The way to really do it is just to have an honest to goodness talk about what people expect out of a game.
I think the point system truly only applies if you actually like a league.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But like doing it as like one night pods isn't going to do it.
No, it's
Also, funny enough, we a buddy of mine and I used to go to pods for point system for a league, and we optimized our decks to get the most points out of pods. So don't act like the people like that don't exist, because I was one of them for a long while. So what's that? You need to cast your commander, and each time you cast your commander past the second time, you get points. Oh boy, food chain combos.
Oh, good old
You
food
know?
chain.
So-
No, man, I would agree with both those points. Like, I think there was a point in the early days when things were new that it was this kind of mindset. Because back then, and this is largely driven by the card pool, I think. The card pool was fundamentally different versus the resources you had back then to now. And I think casual, like Roy has kind of said, is a mindset that you can build to, but is not the state of the format. Commander is evolutionary and adaptive because it's reflective of the resources available, and every time there's a new set, there's something new. And cards today versus cards of the past, well, back then we used to get a 2-mana grizzly bear, and that was the bee's knees. Today, a 2-mana 2/1 with first strike, and your non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast is kind of the norm. So
hold on. Are we playing? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Raska.
I remember when Time Spiral first came out, and that 2/2 grizzly bear had flash, and that was outstanding.
Point in case, evolutionary.
Wait, hold on. And then like I mean, we could do a whole episode about the power creep of green, but then remember when Ambush Viper came out? You were like, "Oh no." Losing to a common that's a 2-mana, that's a grizzly bears with flash and death touch. Like it happens, right? And like power creep's going to exist, but I really think it's also a reflection of the community because people want to win, and you get this arms race, right?
Mhm.
I guarantee if we give it enough time, with the amount of with the amount of people that want to play, or the introduction of C to or to like the community, and the exception of proxies, which I think is a good thing. people are going to inch closer and closer to C, or the borderline of C, where there's no longer going to be a commander format. That is my I don't have tinfoil hat to put on, but that's my tinfoil hat prediction. We're going to optimize the fun out of stuff, and once we get a big name willing to sell more proxies or make proxying easier to order, you're going to see stuff inch closer to C.
And that's
It's all about card availability. You're going to play the strongest. Everybody's going to play the strongest stuff that they can. You know why? Because their friends are doing it. And, it's all going to start from that one guy that decides, guys, what happens when I show and tell this Ulamog on turn 2? And then people are going to be sick and tired of losing to, Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation.
Yeah.
You can only do it so many times, man.
I mean, at the same time, look at just answers that are coming out that make some decks so hard to play.
Yep.
Like, I'm stuttering, forgive me. Look at what blue, white, and black, white are about to be capable of with Farewell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those two colors have the resources to easily find that spell when they need it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact it exists, like, it's a combination of austere command and merciless eviction, like, just on. Yeah, that card it's a good card. Good card.
But like, here's the thing though, right? Removal has to be power crept when, everything else is power crept, right? Like, It's still a 6-mana board wipe. I will say this.
But the thing is, it's more than a board wipe because it
takes
I know. The graveyard with it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I think the card's fantastic. This is going to be me saying that you have to be a responsible commander player, and people need to normalize running counter spells in Magic. Normalize running counter spells, normalize running removal. Not just mass removal, single target removal.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be the bad guy for a healthy game to happen, or else people will run away with the game.
I mean, I'd even go as far as to say that's a mindset.
Oh my gosh.
Right? No,
we could do a whole episode on counter spells and Commander.
Maybe that's our next episode, but like, kind of just an ending note, like, Commander in the way you want to play is the mindset you want to put in. There isn't a you won't force your way of playing onto others, which was the point we were trying to get across today. Like, the way you want to play is a mindset, because the format is adaptive and constantly bringing in cards. There are going to be people that push the boundaries. There are going to be people that want to enjoy things at a slower pace, and then there will be the group like us who likes everything in between and under the sun, and going to order 2 boxes of Neon Genesis because we thought we'd skip the set. I'm expecting a Voltron Commander deck, Alpaca. I expect nothing less.
So also, bringing up just random counter spell interaction, I bought 4 of these.
The cards
put in all of my blue decks. Enchant land has tap counter target spell unless the controllers pay 1.
Example.
I think that that's like there's a 2-mana Teferi's rebuttal, I think it is. If a spell targets a counter target spell that or target spell or ability that targets a land, if an ability was countered this way, destroy the permanent that used that ability or something like that, and then draw a card. I used to play that because, lands deck in my format that would constantly like blow up lands. So,
fair though.
Fun stuff like that. And then it had draw a card at the end of it, which was really good.
Because why not?
Yeah, it's probably blue, so why not?
Yeah, blue and 1.
Awesome.
Well, that's something that I think is really cool about counterspell design. Like, if you have niche things, you add draw a card to it, like Summoner's Bane. True. But we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. I think on that note, friends, I'm gonna reach the end point. Mr. Voy, where can the fine people find you, good sir?
If you guys would like to find me, I am over at twitch.tv/Voiddyn, VOIDDYN. I'm also on twitch.tv/Voiddyn.
Awesome. TheAlpacaTyrant.
I am on Twitter at Rosca and twitch.tv/TheAlpacaTyrant.
Never the same, but always the same. And friends, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at AsosFlame. And these are the Mystical Tutors, and we will catch you the next time. Signing off.